away goes that. No! Welcome to T-Boys TV. Obviously, we are back again with another Hatter Show. Obviously, episode 96. Obviously, we are closing in on episode 100 very soon. And obviously, that will be done before the season obviously ends up. Today, I'm not joined with my dad. He's gone to a music festival type of thing. So yeah, he will not be on, but he has given his thoughts going into this game. But I do have a Blackpool fan, and of course, it has to be the one and only Lee Charles TV. How are you, mate?
That's an introduction, isn't it? I'm absolutely fine. I'm wanting to know what your dad is. He raving today? What's his music thing he's gone to?
Bass. He's into his drum and bass. I think it's like
he's into his drum and bass, is he?
Okay. Yeah. So cool. I think it's like an awards type of. I don't know. I think it's celebrate. They get awards, and not obviously him, but the people, and then they just play their music, sort of thing. I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah. So yeah, we're all we're in deep despair up here. Yeah, we are. We've had a terrible season. Anybody who's well, you probably won't. None of your watchers will have watched our video on Friday's game actually, and Jane crying basically at halftime because it's just been so hard. It's been a really tough season, and for anybody who doesn't know the story of Blackpool, but we boycotted for 5 years. We didn't go. We didn't take our children. That sort of thing. My boys at the time we started the boycott. Sebi was 8 and Alexander was 13. So we missed 5 years of them as a dad. Taking your boys to the game. Because I always went with my dad, to the game, and you can't get those years back. But we got our club back. We finally got rid of the Oystons, thanks to our boycott, but also thanks to Valeri Bellicon, who took the Oystons to court over the fact that they closed him out when they got in the Premier League, and he managed to win the court case and won about 36.5 million quid or whatever he did, and they had to sell the club, and we got a new owner, Simon Sadler, who came from nowhere really, but apparently he's been a Blackpool fan for a long time. He's a hedge fund manager out in Singapore, wherever he is, and he's come in and he did a great job to start off with. We kind of got us up, got us promoted, which is pretty good. It took us once upon a time when in the 70s we fell out of league, out of the Championship League Division 2 as it was then, and it took us 30 years to get back, which was like my life, 30 years of going with my dad. But I managed to, those years with my dad, we managed to get in the Premier League, as you know, and it kind of made the whole father-son journey great. And he lived to see that Premier League season, and then he died in the October after. So at least we got to do it together, We got to do that. And so this is a long time after the Premier League. We're back, we got our club back. Everything was going great. And then, we had Critchley, as you probably know, we had Neil Critchley as manager, and we loved him. We loved him. There was all the fist pumping at the end of the game and all that sort of stuff. He really connected with the fans. They gave him a 4.5 year contract, and he had this vision of, bringing the youth through, because he was the under-23s coach at Liverpool. And this is what he does, brings young kids through, and they all had this massive vision. And then Steven Gerrard came, knocking on the door. Hello, Neil. Would you like to come and be assistant with me at Aston Villa? Forget all this joy you're having here, and all, hero worship, godlike status, and key to the town. Come with me at Aston Villa. So he went. He left us in a bit of a mess, really, because they didn't have anybody lined up. Or, they thought he was here for 4.5 years. It completely threw the board. They interviewed some people, but they had to make it, pretty quick, because we're in the middle of summer, So they got to make an appointment quick. They appointed Michael Appleton, which went down like a lead balloon in Blackpool, completely like a lead balloon, because he'd been with us after Holloway left. He came in and he lasted 10 weeks and kind of saw the shit show that it was at Bloomfield Road, and the Oystons and all the things had been promised weren't promised, and he left. We kind of understood why he left, but fans don't forgive, they don't forgive. So Michael Appleton's come in. There was a rumour he had a Preston North End tattoo on his calf, which he had to go over to the Blackpool Fans Supporters Club thing called the Armfield Club and prove that he didn't have a blooming tattoo on his on his calf. And it was always a bit of a hiding to a nothing. It was always on a. It was never going to work because half the fans hated him. You know what I mean, from the start. So nobody was really behind him. Then, of course, we don't invest in any players. And when you don't invest in any players, the gods of football tend to kick you right in the bollocks, don't they? You know what I mean? You haven't prepared for it all. You haven't made any strength into the squad. And we started to get like injuries and then red cards and send it off and all the rest of it. It's just been an absolute bloody nightmare. You know what I mean? So after the international break, a lot of people thought Appleton was going to get potted. But the thing is, the board gave him a 4-year deal. So I don't think they really wanted to pot him. Nobody knows why they gave him a 4-year deal, but they did. Anyway, so in the January transfer window, he got a few players in that he wanted. And he got them in. And then within a week of him getting these players in who he wanted, they potted him. So it was all a bit, it's just honestly, it's like Fred Carnose. So then they bring, Mick McCarthy in, they're riding on this charger to come and save Blackpool. And he's been absolute utter garbage. His record's got to be the worst ever. He's taken a team that were losing under Appleton, but actually, we're trying for him and we're playing quite well. So a team that are just like, devoid of any confidence. They've been like with a headmaster for like 2 months who's been like hitting them over the hands with a ruler or something. It sounds like it's been awful. You know what I mean? They've not taken to it at all. They're playing, Josh Bowler. He keeps, we got him back to save us. I don't know if you know about Josh Bowler, but we sold him to Forest, and for some reason they didn't actually want him. Sent him out to Greece. This is how bad it's been. So Josh Bowler, our favourite player in the whole world ever, the best player we've seen for years. James would say she's waited all her life to see Josh Bowler, and we sold him to Forest. And of course, as I say, they bought how many? They bought 30 players or something. Forest, I don't know,
too many
players, and they didn't want him basically. So they bought him off us. And then sent him out to Greece where he wasn't getting played. So he came back to be our saviour. And then Mick McCarthy, and obviously play under Appleton. He liked it under Appleton, but Appleton got sacked in the week of him coming back to be the saviour. And Mick McCarthy said, I don't like you, son. I don't like the way you play. You need to defend a bit better than you do. I know you're an attacker, but you can't be just like running up attacking. You got to be back there defending. And dropped him. That was my best Yorkshire accent for Mick McCarthy. I hope I did all right there. And he come in and he said, he come in his interview, he said, you're going to love it here. You're going to love me here. I'm great. He said, I'm coming with TC, and TC's going to get these strikers scoring goals. That's one thing you'll get with TC. Your strikers, they'll have a great time. They'll be scoring lots of goals for you. We scored about how many have we scored? How many have we scored? Hardly any. But we let a hell of a lot in the other way. Yeah. So Mick McCarthy. So anyway, Friday. It's been honestly, we are a club run like I don't know. It's like your worst nightmare. We have fan supporters groups. We have a few fans supporters groups. We're not all together. There's like the posh lot, and then there's a lot called the MSG, the Mucker supporters group. Now the Muckers are all they're all the ones that sing, and you see Blackpool come, and they're the young lads. They're the ones with the smoke bombs and all the rest of it. They're the ones sneaking in. They're the ones smoking weed before the game. They're just what they are. They're them, and they have a supporters group, and they were going to go down to the training ground. They were so angry about, we lost at Preston and we didn't turn up against Preston. And of course, Blackpool is our massive, massive derby. And they were really, really angry overall the way we played. And, and they wanted to go in and, they were going to go down to the training ground and give them what for down there and tell them that it's not good enough. You know what I mean? You've got to try hard and all sorts of stuff. Anyway, they met the directors, and the director said, "What? You're still going down to the training ground?" And they said, "Oh, oh no, you can't be doing that. We'll have to cancel training. We can't, player safety, blah blah blah. So they actually had a meeting. They actually had a proper meeting. So fans, right, at the end of the day, they're only fans. You know what I mean? Have gone in to meet Mick McCarthy and the players to tell them to butt their ideas up a bit and play a bit harder. And I'm, well, you can imagine, can't you? Can you imagine? Can you imagine you going into Luton Town and telling the manager and everything what to do, what you need to do, and how much it means to you? Can you imagine it?
Oh, it's just
it's just like, so we're like, I mean, I've had a rant, I've had a rant. I had a bit of a rant saying, we needed to be, basically the basis behind my rant was that, when I went to football, and you go with your dad, right? You go with your dad, yeah. And I'm sure your dad has said to you loads of times, because my dad always said to me, you're kind of going for promotion, and you're playing Blackpool, which is obviously tomorrow, yeah. But
yeah.
a team like Blackpool, yeah, down at the bottom of the league, and your dad goes, oh, bloody hell. Bottom of the league teams, they're hard to beat, son. They're battling for their lives. They bloody hate playing bottom of the league teams. Why can't we be playing someone in mid-table on their holidays, putting the kids out or something? No, we've got bloody Blackpool, the bottom of the league, and we're fighting for their lives. And that's what it normally is, isn't it? And then they beat you.
Yeah.
They beat you, don't you? Your dad comes out and says, bloody bottom of the league. I told you, I knew they'd be battling like that, throwing bodies on the line and kicking it off the line, or whatever it is, playing the bottom of the league. You know what they're like? They're fighting, aren't they, for their lives?
Yeah.
We're not.
No.
We are not fighting for our lives. And I kind of said to the team, I'll be proud if you go down and you fight and you try and you still get relegated. I'll be applauding you off at the end of the season. But if you carry on playing like this, like you're on a Sunday stroll and I'm not going to be proud of you, and I'll be booing you off at the end of the season. And that was my rant. But I didn't go into, I didn't actually, ring the club and say, can I come and talk to Mick and the players and tell them directly? I was just kind of just saying that's what we need, because that's what we need. It was kind of the bleeding obvious, I suppose, really. I could have said Lee Charles University Challenge, studying the bleeding obvious, because it was the bleeding obvious. That was my qualification. But yeah, no, it's been a disaster in every way, really. This season, it couldn't have been worse. I think we're going for the record for red cards. I think we may equal the record of red cards in one season. So we get one more. Sent off at you, then I think we are the champions of red cards in the season. So that's one award we were going to get. It's not the first time we've been to Luton. We came last year. Yeah. For anybody who hasn't watched us, we did a football tourist guide. Jane and I do a thing called the football tourist guide. I know I'm waffling on and on here. You can stop me at any.
That's all right. Continue.
Yes, we came to Luton, and everybody said to us, oh, bloody hell, you can't do a football tourist guide to Luton. It's what a dump Luton is, you know what I mean? We absolutely love Luton. We ended up going, you can watch it and you'll see we had a great time. We ended up in the Bear Club. We went for tea at this thing on the corner, the Engine or something, with a shisha bar at the back.
Yeah,
bloody hammered as well while you're in there. It was all quite good. They loved us. We did, there in it, and then we were just looking on local things, and it said, there's BD Lenz and Kim Cypher were on at the Bear Club, a jazz club. I thought, I'll have a bit of that. You know what I mean? Yeah. What have you been in there yet? The Bear Club?
No, I actually haven't.
Oh man, God! I tell you, you'll love it. It's brilliant. Honestly, it really is. So that's all on my video, and I did obviously filmed a bit while we were in there, and and then Kim Cypher contacted me after I put the blog out saying, we love what you've done. Can you give us a video so we can? Because it was so good. And Luton, we had a great time, and we got a bit of a scabby draw in the end, didn't we? I think he should have had a goal at the end. I think we got away, we got away with it, but it's the only thing we got away with all season. It didn't really affect you very much, really. You're still in the play.
No,
it was irrelevant, but it was irrelevant to us as well, really. We at that time, all we wanted to do was finish above Preston. That was our goal. And we actually, with 2 games to go, we managed to go above Preston. With 2 games to go, and the bottom 2 teams to play last season. That was where we were. We'd gone I think we're 2 points above Preston, and we had 2 games to go, and we had Derby and we had Peterborough, both relegated. So we couldn't drop the ball, could we? We had to finish above Preston, you know. So it's like we had to. And what are we going to do? We lose to Derby, and we lose 5-0 away at Peterborough, and Preston go over us. So we finished behind Preston, which is obviously it's like a stab in the heart to every Blackpool fan. So we finished last season on a bit of a low, whereas the season before we got promoted at Wembley at the playoffs, and we were all on a high coming into the Championship. We're on a bit of a low. We lost our manager, and that's just the way it's been.
Yeah.
So that's it in a nutshell. That's it. You don't need to ask anymore. See you later, folks. Bye. Go on. So, have we got any comments? Does anybody has enough yet of this? Don't forget to smash a like.
Everyone's loving it. Everyone's
that's good. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, no, I will fly through some comments.
So we're not all northern ruffians up here. You know what I mean? We're not all. No.
But Stephen says, "Big up Ty, common you hatters. Big up to yourself, mate."
Yeah.
Obviously, Chris follows Liverpool, and obviously, I've done a watch along to that game. It's absolutely crazy, as we know. Obviously, he's saying his breath. He's back. He's back breathing normally after that.
Did you do a thing on it? Did you actually do a watch along on that?
Yeah. So I've got a mate who's an Arsenal fan, and
right. Okay.
I managed to get him on in person. Lives near my area, so yeah.
All right. So you've done it with him, yeah.
Yeah, and he done a short match reaction after the game, so yeah, it's been pretty hectic when it comes to content today. So yeah, big up Chris as well. He says big up Blackpool, lovely place to go to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I've been there a few times. Obviously, I did go to the reverse fixture as well this season. I did go last season as well, actually.
Yeah.
So
it's a joyful day, didn't you? A joyful day.
My mum and that go there for tattoos as well. Because it's cheaper and they know people there, so yeah, it's the go-to. Whereas here, it's not really ideal for the prices they want. And like I said, they know people there that they go to, and it's the go-to place. It's actually the one. I'm not sure if you know it. The one literally near the ground. It's literally up the road, sort of thing.
On Central Drive.
I think so. Yes, I think so.
On the corner, isn't it? As you.
Yes.
There's a corner shop. Yeah, it's just there in that block of shops. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's quite a few good tattooists in Blackpool. It's always been a thing, and it's got more arty, hasn't it? It's not just like anchors and.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Love and hate on your knuckles or anything. It's got quite arty now, hasn't it? So I actually I've driven a taxi a long time in Blackpool, and I picked up a lady quite a few years ago. I don't drive now. I haven't driven taxi since COVID and doing all this bloody YouTube stuff. But she was she had a tattoo salon, and she was actually a Disney artist. She'd been a Disney artist doing cartoons over in America, and she could do like, and she could do like cartoons if you wanted them. She was brilliant, all that sort of stuff. So I can only do a stick man. That's my I'm good at stick men. Once it gets beyond anything beyond that, honestly. I can remember being at art at school, and I'm to try and paint my hand or something. It didn't look anything like my hand. It was it was awful. It was not going in the Tate Gallery or anything. So no, I can't really draw. It's not my thing. I'm more musical. I play the piano, and I've been a DJ for years and stuff. So
yeah, no, fair enough. We all have our own thing.
Yeah. I started DJing in the 90s, so I was I was out raving and misbehaving and doing doing all that illegal stuff. Yeah, it was good times. Good times. Yeah.
No,
so a bit of old school if you want with me. If anybody wants to book an old school DJ. No, but it's we enjoyed when we got to the ground. It was really weird last season because I always forget something. I'm like notorious. Jane hates me, and we're going down the motorway, and we got like off the M55 onto the M6, and I went, oh God, I think I forgot like my all my batteries and stuff for the camera. I said, I'm not sure. We're gonna have to get off at like the next thing and have a look. And she's like, You can imagine, can't you? Bloody typical. Forget something again. So we get off at like just a quick little roundabout and have a look. And I've got it anyway. So we're traveling down. We're now going right down the M6. We get to Manchester. Something Jane goes, I forgot the tickets. So I can't go back now. So we had to ring the club, and then we went down on the Friday because we were doing the football choice guys. So we went down Friday night. We were meeting a Luton fan who Jane has met through the most obscure thing. Jane follows a Lego football team called Brickstand.
Right.
And if you pay for a season ticket for Brickstand, they're on Twitter and stuff. If you pay for a season ticket, you get a little Lego U that they put in the crowd, and you can be, you can sometimes be in, they'll get, you'll be in the crowd cheering or something. It'll be you. You're there, you're cheering them on, or they have like special Halloween nights or something, and you go to, dressed in, they'll have you with a broomstick and all this sort of stuff, and it's just a bit of fun, and you're actually supporting Brickstand. So you've got a Luton, and this is really, you've got a Luton fan from, I think he's from Holland, that comes over to watch Luton, and he's also follows Brickstand. That's why she met him. So we met up with him. Right. That's in the video. You can watch that video, the Football Twist Guide to Luton. So anyway, so we're coming up on Friday. She's forgot the tickets. We ring the club and they say, it's all right. Luton will, get you some tickets, you can pick them up at the ground. So she was panicking. She was really worrying about it. She said, I don't want to leave it to last minute. I don't want to be going on like Saturday. I want to make sure I've got my tickets in my hand. So we drive to the ground and we go to your tickets office, whatever it is. So it's like, it's like a pre, I don't know what it is. It's like a horse. I don't know. It's something anyway. So we go there. And the girl is just like, computer says no. You know what I mean? One of those people that just, no, you can't, we can't do it for you now. You got to come, you got to pick it up at the turnstiles after 12 o'clock tomorrow morning, blah, blah, blah. So while she's sorting this out, a guy comes over with a yellow thing on and everything. And, he says, are you all right? I said, yeah. I said, what's the camera? I said, we're YouTube vloggers. We're coming to Luton. He said, do you want me to show you around? That's it. Come on then. So he took me into the ground and, showed me around. He's your chief safety fire officer or something. He's been there he actually said, he said, I've been here 45 seasons or something. He actually referred to his time as being there for so many seasons, which was beautiful, I thought. And when I walked into the ground, I loved it. I'm going to tell you now, honestly, the minute I walked in, I thought, oh my God, it's like from the time of, old Bloomfield Road at Blackpool that we were in, wooden stands and something. And I just thought, oh my God, this is just beautiful. Honestly, I just was like, oh yeah. And it's a bit, it's not great when you're stood in it because they've on the end that we're on, they've bolted the seats to the floor, haven't they, to the normal terracing, so they're bolted on. But the seats are like, so the step that's in between your seat and the next seat has a step in it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No,
so you sit and there's like a bit and then a step, so there's like, it's not a flat floor to stand. You've hardly got any floor, because you've got a step right in the mid. God, it's so uncomfortable, really, and it's way too tight for me to sit in. You've got to stand up really, because it's just like your knees are like up by you. It's really tight. But when you're standing up, then you're standing on like a half a step sort of thing. So, but I still kind of loved it. You know what I mean? I still, regardless of everything, I was like, oh God, I love it. And everything about it, I love the fact you go through like terraced houses to get in the place, and like everybody was like dead friendly, really friendly. We obviously, as a YouTuber, you'll know sometimes, they don't, the fact you've got a camera or something, they're like, we can't bring this in here, mate, we're not allowed to film and all this sort of stuff. But they were like, they wanted to beat, and then other grounds you go to, the stewards want to be on, don't they? They want to be on, they want to give you their opinions and everything. So it's really weird. And at the end of the day, it's, you're not like doing a 90-minute recording of the match, are you? It's more about, a football vlog is more about you and the fans and what it's like, isn't it? So, I mean, we've actually stopped putting any footage in now, just simply because it's the thing that ruins every video. that I do. The actual match footage is just like, it's horrendous. It's, it's just trying to make a silk purse out of ourselves here with Blackpool all the time. And I just can't be doing with it. And when I'm filming, if I'm trying to film a match, I'm not capturing the bits that I want to capture, which is all the drama in the crowd and stuff. You know what I mean? So anybody can see that, you can watch the footage. You don't have to go on the Evel show and watch the goals. You don't need to see the goals, but what you need to see is like, the fans all going bloody mental when they score, and what you're singing, and then looking at the watch and blowing the whistle, whatever it is. There's loads of drama in a football match. It's actually more dramatic. And if I'm taking people along with me, which was our vision of what we were doing, that we're taking anybody who's watching us with us to the match, which is painful sitting with me half the time. Jane has said she'll never, ever, ever go to Wembley with me or sit with me at Wembley ever again, because I was a nightmare. The last 10 minutes, I was so bad because we were hanging on for like 2-1, and they'd even put we're playing Lincoln, and they put their keeper up. He was just playing in our half as well. So we had 11 Lincoln coming at us, and I was kept giving the ball away. And I was getting angrier and angrier, and she was stressing out so bad. So yeah. So you don't really want to come along with me to a football match. But anyway, I do take you, and you'll see when you watch our vlog, what it was like being in that end. Not what it was like on the pitch. You know what it's like on the pitch, but you'll see, what. I mean, we had a bit of a competition with your PA. That was that was the hardest thing. We were trying to talk, and it just, honestly, it was so loud. Jesus Christ, it just blows your ears off. I mean, it was loud, and it was like, I couldn't hear ourselves thinking. It was just drowning us out every time we were speaking. Every time we spoke, I was talking about fire drills, or whatever. It's just all the time, don't smoke. And every time we tried to say something, she chirped in. So we had a bit of a bother with that last season, which you can see on the video. Everybody give it a watch.
Absolutely.
We said a lot of good things about Luton, so it's not your normal. You'll be surprised, because I know, like, a lot of people, a lot of vloggers probably come along to Luton and say this is a shithole, and what bloody hell is this? Look at all these bloody, terraced houses at the back, and just slag it off and everything. But it's wonderful. It's wonderful, and I think you're a club sort of similar to us, where you've not got a massive budget, because you can't have. You can only get like 10,000 in. Is it 9? I don't know what
10,000. Yeah,
10,000. So you're not getting the income streams that's like Sunderland they're getting, with 40,000. You're just not getting it, are you? So it's very difficult for you to compete. We're also competing against all these teams coming down, obviously, with the parachute payments. So to be where you are, doing what you are, and being, at the moment, third in the league, are you? I mean, it's phenomenal, and we'll be behind you. If in the playoffs, we'll be cheering you on, because you're the little guy. You know what I mean? We always, my dad always cheered on the underdogs.
Yeah, exactly.
Always. Yeah. And to me, you are the underdogs. Not because you're not a better team, you might be just as good a team, but just purely because you've only got 10,000. And I there's a part of me wants you to get in the Premier League just to piss them right off.
Yeah, exactly.
They're so up their own arse, aren't they? The Sky, they think they're so wonderful. Oh, Premier League,
exactly.
It's the most wonderful. Honestly, I'll tell you now that the Premier League is not the experience that you think it's going to be. If you've not been in, if you've never experienced it, I have experienced it, and I kind of hated it for quite a few reasons, which I'll tell you if you got an hour for me to tell you. Do you want me to tell you? Do the people want to tell you what it's like? Right. Well, it's a total pain in the arse for many reasons. One, you don't play as many matches as you do in the Championship, so there's only 36 games. So you've got like weekends off, like loads of times. You very, very rarely kick off at 3:00 on a Saturday, or like 8:00 on a Tuesday, or 7:45, whatever time. Very rarely. You will be on at Sunday at 1, Sunday at 5, Friday night, Monday night football, any day, but what you actually build your life around. You know what I mean? So you've got to completely change everything. You can't be saying, Saturdays, block all these Saturdays off, because that's football. You've got to start thinking, all right, well, Saturdays will be free now, so I can't get out shopping with the missus and all that sort of stuff, and I've got to like do Friday or whatever, you know, and then they change, and then they change it because you're on, you know, Sky. So they have this, you know, these are all the matches, and then all of a sudden it's like, we had Sebi, it was his 8th birthday party, and we're playing Man City at home on Saturday, and his birthday was on Saturday, and I said, oh my God, it's Man City, you know, at home. So my missus then changed it to the Sunday. So we had it was like a swimming party at a hotel, and then we changed it all over, did all that, and then they announced, oh, Man City, we're now playing them on Sunday, and we couldn't change it back to Saturday, so I ended up having to go to a swim party and missed the Man City match, and it just, you know, it's stuff like that, and then you've just got like, it's as if they'll hate you. They won't want you to be in the Premier League. I can assure you, it'll be so much faff and trying to get cameras in and all the rest of it that you will be like, you will not be a popular club in the Premiership, and you won't get much your way.
Yeah.
You know? And then they've all got like an incredible amount of money, and you haven't got an incredible amount of money. And it's a bit like playing a poker player who's a millionaire. You know, you go in a casino and you play a millionaire at poker, and he will just make you pay to see. You know, you'll be blooming in the end, you'll be thinking, oh, I've got a queen. You know what I mean? That could win. And he'll just do your money. He'll just tackle your money because he can just keep betting you off the table. You know what I mean? All the time. You'll be thinking, oh, God, I've got 2 aces here, but I've got to put like, you know, all my money in here. You know, and it'll just bury you. And that's what they do to you. They just, you know, financially, they've got like, you know, all this talent on the bench, obviously, and their bench is worth like 3 times the amount of your squad and the ground and the training ground and half of Luton all together is sat on their bench. You know what I mean? That's how big they are. And the referees, you know, obviously, you know, if you've got, you know, we played Man United at home, we're beating them 2-0. Alex Ferguson, he was terrifying, you know, on the side of the pitch. We get a stonewall penalty in the second half to go 3-0 up. The referee had to send their player off, but they'd have gone down to 10 men and 3-0 down. And the referee just kind of looked at it, and I'm sure it went through his mind, because this was the first time Man United were actually losing a away game the whole season. And he's looking at Alex Ferguson, he's thinking, if I give this penalty to Blackpool, then it's kind of proved that it wasn't a penalty, I'll never referee again in my life, you know what I mean? But if it is a penalty and I don't give it to Blackpool, it's only Blackpool, you know, who cares about Blackpool, you know what I mean? It didn't even make a headline. We got beat 3-2. They came back and beat us with 3 goals and at home, and that, you know, that would have probably kept us in the Premier League. So you've got all that against you all the time, you know. And also the other thing that they will do to you is if one of your players is like tearing everybody apart, you know what I mean? He's, you know, or 2 or 3 of your players are like playing like out of the jackets, they will come and try and buy him. They will unsettle you like you wouldn't believe. They will be putting bids in to get, you know, and rather than them getting like, I don't know what you know, you might be paying them 10 grand a week or something. I don't know what it is. You might up it to 15 or so, whatever you can afford. They'll be coming in offering like 150 grand a week to come and play for City. They will unsettle you. It's really, really hard. You know what I mean? And it's just that whole thing, not watching as many games, it being all over the place, and just the whole unfairness of it. And it's not great, but you kind of need to do it. Do you know what I mean? Don't you? You need to, in your lifetime, you need to just have that season of playing Arsenal and Tottenham, and you know, every week it's a massive, you know, it's a thing you want to do. But I can tell you, it's not the greatest thing, unless you do a miracle like Leicester or something, you know, and win the damn thing. But you know, miracles don't happen very often. But you never know. But it is really hard. And I always say to anybody that you know, Lincoln fans have looked at Blackpool, who, you know, obviously we beat in the playoff final, and we went to the Championship and they didn't. And they will say things in my thing like, oh, well, you know, we'd give anything to have been in the Championship like you, you know, don't be moaning, you know, you're losing because you're up there in the Championship. But I can assure you, when you're up in the Championship and you're losing, you're not thinking, oh, this is great, because we're in the Championship and losing, and we're not in League One and losing. It's just, it's a shit losing in the Championship as it is in League One, in League Two, in the Conference, in, you know, National, whatever it is, Step 8 or whatever. Losing's losing. And when you get in the Premier League, it's the same thing. You know, you'll go and you'll play Arsenal and they'll beat you, and you won't come out the game thinking, oh, well, you know, at least we got to see Arsenal, you know. You'll come out sick. You want to beat Arsenal. You want to beat Chelsea. You know, you're a football fan. You want to win, and you don't get many wins. And football's not fun when you're not winning. You know what I mean? It's great, isn't it? When you're top of the league like you are now, you know, third. Football's wonderful, isn't it? Yeah. But when you're down here, trust me, down the bottom, second off the bottom, it's horrible. This football is mentally horrible. It really is. It really gets to you. And so enjoy it when you go. I've totally ruined the experience for you already, aren't you? Thinking, oh my God, we don't really want to go with the Premier League. Sounds like a lot of shit. But no, it's great to be on like TV all the time, you know. It is great, you know, in equal measure. It's great. And for me, the good thing about it is if you're clever and you're sensible and you kind of go up and take the money and don't really blow it on stupid players and stuff and come down with a massive war chest, then you can do everything. Just that one season in the Premier League would transform Luton Town forever. You know what I mean? You'd be able to build a new, you know, you'd have you could literally come down with 150 million, couldn't you? I think altogether was it 180 million? I don't know. Anyway, it's a lot of money. You can build you can build a brand new stadium, and you can, you know, create a legacy, which is what Blackpool fans thought that was going to happen. You know, we won 90 million pound going into the Premier League. You know, it was like we wouldn't have made 90 million pounds in like 90 million years. I don't think. You know what I mean? It just would have never happened. We're lucky to we never make any profit at Blackpool, so we would have never made 90 million pounds. So we all thought that was going to be invested in the club, in the academy, and the stadium, and it just didn't turn out that way. We just ended up not seeing a penny of it, really. You know, they just took all the money out under the proviso that it could be lent back to the club if we ever needed it. That's how they had all these loads of offshore, all these different companies, and the money just kind of just went. And Owen Oyston paid himself £12 million straight away as a director's bonus. You know, that was all on the paper. And then they just started like transferring money, and it went from one company to another company to loaning to other companies to helping. It just vanished. All of it vanished. And so you don't want that to happen. And if you can get that money, and if you can get up and get that money, then you can really build then to make yourself a team that eventually is big enough to stay in the Championship, you know, to stay in the Premier League and always be at the top, you know, always, you know, which is what we thought would be maybe a Boing Boing club. You know, I'd like to be a Boing Boing club. I'd have loved to be in a Boing Boing club. There's nothing better than getting promotion. Yeah. You know, the only thing better than getting promotion is actually winning the Premier League. That's like the pinnacle, isn't it? Yeah. But after that, I suppose it's getting in Europe. Yeah. And then after that, it's like finishing kind of mid-table and not going down. Then after that, it's surviving the Premiership. That is the pyramid of the Premiership. And then throughout all the other leagues, it's all about, you know, promotions, and promotions are just like one massive, you know, they're a carnival, aren't they? The town's out, innit? Everybody's out. I remember, you know, you'll all be out in our colour, obviously, because you've nicked our colour. So you'll all be out in bloody tangerine. So you'll all be out dancing around. The team will be coming through the town and, you know, an open top bus or something, won't you, with a big massive trophy going up and down and the people swinging off lampposts and all the rest of it. You don't get that. Even if you stayed in the Premier League, even if you stayed in, you know, you survive out of one place, there's nobody going to be out on a bloody, you know, open top bus and bloody people swinging from the chandeliers, and the whole town's on the piss, aren't they? You know what I mean? The whole summer's like, the summer's wonderful. So, you know, to experience that promotion back would just be great. And I tell you what, winning the playoffs at Wembley, oh my God, it's, if you could like choose the way, you know, if you could guarantee to get up winning at Wembley, oh my God, that is the way. But on the downside of that, losing at Wembley is also one of the worst ways to it's awful. It's really awful. I don't know if you have ever lost. Have you ever lost a playoff? Doesn't matter.
Well, I remember the last time we actually lost to you. Well, I say I remember, I was quite young, but I remember obviously the last time we lost to you guys was actually a playoff game. I can't remember what league it was.
Right.
Just double check. It was
we're the
League Two
kings.
playoffs.
Right. We're the kings of the playoffs. We've won more playoffs than anybody else. But we've lost a couple, and it's awful. It really is. So what's the? So, I'll let you get a word in now. How long are we in?
That's all good.
So Luton Town, what are we to expect tomorrow? Because you didn't play so well against Millwall, did you? According to the Millwall fan that said it was a bit
to what we've seen this season, I would say it wasn't the best. I did think in the first half, they were getting in a bit too easy. The way they were getting in behind. I think defensively we were good. It was just the middle. It was quite easy for them to play the long balls over the top and that sort of thing. Overall going into that game, I said I would take the point because they are doing well this season. They're another team like us.
They're up there, aren't they? Yeah,
fighting for the playoffs, and they are doing really well at home this season as well. So overall, I'd have took it going into it because I also think it obviously did suit us more than them because you look at the position, and we do have a bit of a gap, compared to them sort of teams, a little bit below us, obviously taking out Middlesbrough, the ones below Middlesbrough. So overall, I was happy with it. And we didn't have the Clark, who's a very, he's a creative spark type of player.
Right. So he's back, I take it, is he? Is he back?
I'm hoping.
He will be.
It's a calf injury, so it's not. It's been 2 games now, so
he'll be back. They all get off the deathbed to bloody players.
Yeah.
Michael Owen got off his deathbed to score 2 goals against us in the Premier League. When did he ever score a goal? He was injured for his entire career, wasn't he? But he just managed to get up out of his bed and get onto the pitch second half and relegate us. Bloody Michael Owen, I couldn't believe it. So they all get up for us. He'll be back, I can assure you. You can go to the comments if you want. There's a few people saying that York at Wembley was bad. Yes, York at Wembley, that was a bit of a heartbreaker.
Yeah, a lot of these.
What division was that in? Bloody York.
Honestly, I couldn't even tell you. And thank you, David, as well. He sent in the super chat.
79p.
9p. Thank you very much for that, mate. Obviously, every super chat I receive goes back into the channel. But yeah, York. I can't really remember that one. Obviously, I was a lot younger. I've been told the stories. I've witnessed Luton at Wembley once. And that was St Johnson's paint trophy. I was quite young, so I didn't really watch football, but I was there. I did manage to watch a win. I remember when Luton scored, I started crying because how loud it was. I weren't really into football then like I am now. So
but you remember that sort of moment, don't you? Yeah. I was much the same. My dad took me to a game, and I think it was Arsenal, and we came back, to win the game, and I can remember the crowd, the loud crowd. I remember my dad throwing me up and down because I was only about 3 or 4. I was really young, honestly. I was really little, and I can't remember anything of the game. I just remember my dad throwing me up and down in the air. I thought, thinking this is wonderful, and those memories do stick in your mind, don't they?
No, absolutely. And I even remember our last game last season, which was, determined whether we'd get the playoffs. And I went with my dad, and I remember Cornick scored the goal, and it was just absolutely crazy. I've never heard him roar like that. And even when we've beat, Watford, which is obviously a massive derby for us, it was just crazy and brilliant moment. But I know about losing, not quite at Wembley, but I do know about losing in the playoffs, obviously, last season.
It's painful.
Yeah, it was. No, absolutely.
Because I thought I thought you'd do it, to be honest. I had a feeling, but Forest were just, Forest were kind of, I know the name was on it, wasn't it, really? I think,
after the start. Yeah, exactly. And the way they come up, and they were potentially, on the way to maybe get second, weren't they? Until Bournemouth confirmed it in that game when they played them and narrowly beat them.
Yeah. So, it might have been better for Forest to have gone up automatic, but then again, they're struggling, aren't they? They might do it. But it's unbelievably hard at the end. You think you're gonna get safe, and all these teams that you look at like Everton, you're thinking, oh, they'll go down. Somehow they manage to just pull it all together, and it is a really hard league to stay in, and you've got to have a lot of money behind you to stay in. I think you can't do it without the money, but they're going to give you a load of money, so take it. Take
Yeah.
all the money. Take it all.
No,
I would have.
absolutely.
I actually said, before we went in, that I would just have like just got a load of, I wouldn't have got any more names. I'd have just been like, I don't know, like the British team or something, or just lads that are going to just give it a go and don't want to be on like 50 grand a week or whatever, and just give it a go. And if you come down, you've got 180 million pound in the bank. You can really start buying players then, can't you? And start, and really, make yourself a force. So I think you've got to use it wisely. You've not got to get dragged into the game of trying to compete with Manchester United and Liverpool, and because I mean, the whole I don't know what you lot think down there, but I just think football's mental in every way. I mean, if they're getting 180 million pound, they will buy a player for 180 million pound or more. It'd be 250 million, won't it? So if some company from some massive TV company, Amazon or whatever, came in, or Netflix bought it all and said, right, every team is going to get 500 million pounds, there would straight away the top players would be 500 million or more. And they'd be saying, oh, well, that's justified because it's, but it isn't, because it's just the money just comes in and they just spend it, and you just, it's just stupid. And the whole thing is just stupid. And the wages they play is now stupid, like ridiculous. I mean, Ronaldo, does he need to go anywhere for any more money? Really? Does he need to? He could play for free, surely, from now on. He doesn't need any. I mean, you can only spend so many 100 millions in one lifetime, can't you? And he won't even look at his bank account. He doesn't even know what he's got in. Yeah. I bet he doesn't. He won't be looking to see his wages drop on a Monday morning, will he, Ronaldo? Oh, let's just see if me 500,000's. Oh, it's there. Yeah. Oh, what can I go and spend this week? Should we get a Ferrari or? I mean, I don't have a clue, will he? And half the places he'll go, if he goes to the barbers or something, he'll be like, oh, Ronaldo, can you sign this for us? I'll cut your hair for free, but I mean, what did they spend the money on? Cars, that's it, isn't it, really? Cars, women, gamble it away, that's about it. But the whole thing's mental. It is.
Yeah.
There's just so many. Could you retire if somebody just gave you like 1 million quid? If you've got 1 million, do you think that would like, you kind of make that last for quite a long time?
I don't so.
I know. They're getting like, what are they getting? 250 grand a week. So, what's that? I can't remember. There's some of those 7.5 million or something, isn't it? A year.
Yes.
Somebody gave you 7.5. If somebody gave you 7.5 million, honestly, you just couldn't spend. You'd have to gamble it away. Will be the only reason you would do it. But 7.5 million, God Almighty, you'd be made for life, wouldn't you? You really would. So I don't get it. I just don't get the whole thing.
No,
I think we just throw money away at it, and so it is what it is. But when you get up there, that's what you're competing against. Teams with all those players and all that money, and your guys are not on that money, and but it's a good experience. Yeah. I hope you do it. I do. I hope you do it. I really do. I hope you get up, and I hope you put them through the hell of having to set up cameras at Luton all the time. It's the hard work, won't it? They'll be in a little. Well, they'll have to make him a studio out of some scaffolding and stuff, won't they? You know what I mean? There's no actual studio for him to go in, is there? I tell you what, I always think about Luton though. It's a bit weird, like obviously we're stood there, and in like from our end in your right hand corner, there's a big massive floodlight that's like right in front of the stand.
Oh yeah.
So does everybody just watch the game through that? Because it looks like they just have to look through the floodlight, is it, to see the game?
Yeah,
it's like in the way.
I actually sit near that bit, and yeah, that is exactly.
So you're watching the game, looking through a floodlight, aren't you?
At times I can be.
Yeah, that's what I keep thinking. It's like this big bloody massive floodlight, right? That's just like the quirkiest design ever, isn't it? Well, who thought that was a good idea?
Oh no!
And why have they not replaced it? Maybe just with like a pole, just like a floodlight on just a. Like a like a pole.
Yeah.
Like they have at non-league grounds where they just have like poles, don't they, with the floodlights on the top. Why don't they just take all that down and just put a pole up and then you've just got one It's not really. You don't have to look round it too much, do you?
Yeah,
But that thing
exactly.
must be just like so in your way. I'm thinking, how did he put up with that? Do
Yeah,
my head in.
yeah, I know. No, it does. It
But
does
it's
frustrate me
but it is what
sometimes.
it is, and it is what it
Yeah.
is. It's beauty. You know, it is a thing of beauty. You won't get us slagging you off, I can assure you. You know, not on our video. We're setting off tomorrow at 6:45 in the morning. We're going on the coach. We're all full of hope now because obviously Mick McCarthy's walked, and we've got Stephen Dobby in, who's been looking after the development squad. He used to play for Blackpool in well, just after the Premier League season. Actually, we picked him up. He's a good player, but he's not been a manager before. But he has been doing okay with the development squad. But the players at Blackpool have been playing with like this massive weight on the shoulders of Mick McCarthy, and that's gone. So we're kind of hoping that they'll try on Monday. You might see a Blackpool. It might not be as bad as I've been, you know, because they just don't look like they're trying. And if you score a goal against us, you'll score 5 because that's it. We just start crying once somebody scores a goal against us, and we'll be honestly. If the goal goes in against us, we've had no resilience whatsoever. Well, like somebody said, it's like punching a wet paper bag. That's what our defense is like. So we're hoping we're going to give you a bit of a game. With no Jerry Yates, I don't think he's suffering with a tight hamstring or something. He didn't play. So we've no strikers. We haven't got a single striker at the club. So we might have to put a kid in. But we haven't done that yet. We haven't put a kid in yet. So if we do, but we haven't got any strikers. They're all injured. Gary Medine is like, he's done his cruciates in. So we'll never see him again. Shane Lavery is out with a hamstring. He's been out for a few months now, so he's gone. The other lad we got from Rochdale, we've only seen him play about 3 times. He's the other striker. He's been like more or less injured all season. And then Jerry Yates, now our one last man standing, has got a tight hamstring. So we haven't got any strikers. We're playing Morgan Rogers, who we got on loan from City in January. In fact, all our loans got injured. Every single one of them, apart from Morgan Rogers, is the only one. We got Tom Tribal from Germany or something. He got injured within about a game and a half. We had a fullback centre half called Good with an E. He got injured straight away. Who else did we get? We got Bowler back. Obviously, that he's still fit, but no, they all really got injured. So. I've not got any hope, if I'm being honest. We're coming to you with no strike. We haven't got a striker. I don't know. It's not going to be. There's not going to be a lot of goals from Blackpool. Let's put it that way. We ain't got anybody who can score them. So I think if Jane and I get there early enough, they may ask us to put our boots on. So why not get to the ground too early? To be honest, because if you got me up front, we've had it. To be honest, we really have. You won't see the silky skills of Lee Charles TV on the pitch. Tell you, it's just I can't even catch a bus that's leaving things, so no chance. So yeah. So I think it's going to be an easy win for you. I'm not predicting. If you ask me to predict, if we can keep it under 10-0, which would be a result for us, I think. Goal difference doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter how many you score against us. We're going down anyway. So yeah, what's this? Luton 4-0, says Chris Welch. Yeah, you're about right. Add another 1 onto that. I think you're being generous there, Chris.
Wow, that's.
Oh yeah. So he's a Carlisle fan, is he? Yeah. They're close, aren't they? To yeah, we went to Carlisle. We've done by the way, Chris, we've done a football tourist guide to Carlisle. We had a great time there. We went to Hadrian's Wall there's like a fort because Carlisle's up near Hadrian's Wall. What was Hadrian's Wall? We went to like an air museum. Like there are a lot of planes there, and they were great. And yeah, we went. We had a really good time in Carlisle. It was a pre-season friendly that we had up there. Lovely sunny day. Great time we had up there. And Carlisle's quite interesting. They've got a castle and all this sort of stuff. It's pretty nice place.
Yeah.
We didn't really have enough time. We didn't realize it was quite as good as it, or we might have stayed over one night as well and really done it. Because when we got there, we said, "Oh, this is like really, really nice." But like, York is really nice. Have you been to York?
Briefly.
I know you broke your heart, but it's nice there. It's very nice. York.
Fair enough.
York's beautiful.
That's
a lovely place.
Stephen's like all the Luton fans just want 3 points.
Yes, of course you do. Of course you do. You'll get them. Don't worry about it. It'd be a miracle if Blackpool. I told you we have no strikers at all. We have no fit strikers.
I was going to say, haven't you only won 3 away games as well this season or something like that?
I don't think we've won 3. Have we won 3?
I think it was.
We beat Huddersfield. Huddersfield because, and they're not happy because their VAR, their goal line technology failed.
I heard about that.
Yeah, it fails. So the ball registered as not going over the line, and there's been loads of pictures from different angles, and angles make it look further over than it was because it all depends on angles. So whether it did or it didn't, but they're all like blaming us for that. But it's their goal line, it's their ground. Exactly, if the goal line technology doesn't work, then blame yourselves, isn't it? You can't blame us, can you? Yeah. It's not Blackpool's fault your goal line technology didn't work. It's your bloody goal line technology. So back off. But anyway, they beat. No, they didn't beat us out. We got a draw against them at home. So we beat them. Beat Coventry. Yep. We played fantastic against Coventry. Really, really good against Coventry. Have we won another one? I can't think.
I want to say it was QPR. I'm thinking QPR away.
Oh, QPR. Yes, we did beat QPR. 3. We should have beat Sheffield United. That was the turning point of the season for us because we went to Sheffield United. We were 2-0 down after like 15 minutes. I'm thinking just getting my coat and going on, but you can't when you're a vlogger. You got to stay there, haven't you, to the bitter end.
Yeah.
And we came back. We got a goal just before half time. We go in 2-2. We come out. We score another goal. We're 3-2 up. Sheffield United, I'm telling you, they had lost. Their heads had gone. They couldn't cope with the fact that they were 2-0 up, now losing 3-2, and they were going in. They were piling into us. There was Blackpool players going up in the air, and the referee's just waving everything on. And then Marvin Ekpiteta puts a sliding tackle in. It's a red card all day long. But if it had been Sheffield United, it'd have probably given a yellow. But off he goes. So I was saying to Jane about 5 minutes before, they're going to get a guy sent off here, Sheffield United. This is hilarious because they were just, honestly, they were going in like bloody gangbusters at us. And so we get the man. We go down to 10 men. And then we have one of our players goes down with a head injury. And the referee carries on playing, just let Sheffield United keep playing. And they don't score, but our defender is, going up to the referee, just saying like, what's going on? The guy's got, you can see he's got an head injury. You're ignoring it. He gives him a yellow card for questioning the fact they didn't give him he didn't give a head injury. So he books Dom Thompson. He books him yellow card. So then there's about 5 minutes later, there's a Dom Thompson and the Sheffield United attacker are sort of like chasing a ball off the pitch, and he goes off the pitch. Dom shields it off, but they're both going at real pace. And the guy just pushes him and he goes right into the electronic advertising boards and like knocks them everywhere. And then his arm is bleeding and everything. I don't know if you've ever touched them, but they're like rock hard, aren't they? They're made out of like solid wood or they're like steel based and they've got them blooming LEDs on them that's sharp as anything. So he goes piling into them and he gets up off that and he kicks the ball and the ball hits their player on the ankle or something. The ball hits him somewhere on his leg down here. And they're all kicking off. Referee sends him off. Second yellow card. Off. Well, if somebody pushes you into a blooming advertising board and you kick the ball, he hit the guy. He didn't hit him in the face or anything. He hit him on his boot or something. They are footballers. They can handle a ball hitting him on the leg. So anyway, we're down to 10 men. Then he gives them a penalty. They get a penalty, never a penalty in a million years. You're watching it, you're thinking, oh, God, we can't believe we're watching it. We're down to 9 men. And he gives them this like penalty. And it hits the post and goes across and comes out. So we're still 3-2. We then play 8 minutes of extra time. And there must have been about 8 corners in a row to them. And the ball is just pinging off somebody coming in. You can't tell who it's come off. It's the ball's going out. It could have come off a Blackpool header. Nobody can tell, but it's a corner to Sheffield United. Then another corner to Sheffield United, and another corner to Sheffield. So we get to the 8th minute of 8 minutes of extra time, and the ball comes in, and their striker just barges our keeper into the net. Maxwell goes into the net. Into the net, on his arse. He's trying to get back up. They've got 3 Sheffield United players in offside positions, and the ball goes out to the edge of the box, and he just hits one, and it goes in as Maxwell's trying to get across, and they just go, yeah, goal, 3-3. And more or less they didn't blow. There was a chance actually for Blackpool to score after that, but that's, you can imagine it was just like, oh my God, this referee is just playing until they get a goal. You know what I mean? And it's the most ridiculous goal you'll ever see. If Maxwell had just laid down dead in the nets, they'd have had to pull it back, but he didn't. He tried to get up and tried to get across, and then there's a big fight on the pitch. One of their goalkeeper dives at Shane Lavery, gets him by the neck and wrestles him to the floor, and the referee sends Shane Lavery off with another red card. So we get 3 red cards, and we never really recovered from that. That was like the turning point of the season. We had 3 players on red cards. Obviously, had to miss the next game, which we lost, and we lost all the momentum and everything. And we played fantastic, and they gave everything. 9 men for like 20 odd minutes, hanging on against like just corner after corner, and just everything. The referee was, free kicks, whatever it was. He was like to Sheffield United all the time. They were getting, a free kick. Yes, oh yes, free kick, and so. Yeah, that was the beginning of the end of where it all just fizzled and fell apart. And that's it. It's been pretty much murder ever since.
Wow. I've seen you have had quite a few 3-3 draws this season.
We did. Yeah, we did. We came back against Burnley, didn't we? 3. That's when we were playing quite well, really. At that time we were playing well and losing. We drew 3-3 with Burnley, and we'd gone 3-2 up on Burnley, and they were taking the ball out in their own half, and Sonny Carey tried to slide tackle from behind and caught the guy. He did catch the guy, not a red card, but because they're in their own half, he's not in our half, like taking him down as a last man standing or anything. It's just a mistimed tackle. It's a yellow card all day long. Their player gets up immediately, and as Sonny Carey's got his back to him, he's talking to the ref or whatever, and the Burnley player just comes up right from behind and just like shoves him, and he just goes like down, over, and which was, if you're not seeing somebody coming behind you and they shove you down on the floor, anything could have happened. So the referee red cards him, but he then also red cards Sonny Carey as well for what was a yellow, yellow, never a red in a million years. So we're both down to 10 men, and then they got an equaliser. But if the referee had been fair and just give the yellow card, which our thing was, and sent him off, which was it was an assault. It really was a quite nasty, and we drew 3-3. So there again. No, look, we were playing. We've had, honestly, we've had so many bad refereeing decisions this year. I hate blaming referees all the time, but our directors go in and shout at the referees. There's been a few things where they've really steamed into the referees after the match, and I don't think that's good. I don't think that's a good thing. I think referees, talk to each other, and if we're going in and shouting at them and calling them cheats and all this sort of stuff, they're not gonna. I can, as you can as a fan, and fans in the stadium, they will be singing, who's the bastard in the black and you're not fit to referee and all that sort of stuff. They'll get that week in, week out, won't they? Wherever they go. They won't even hear that anymore. They'll hear that everywhere they go, but they won't expect the directors of the football club to be coming in and accusing them of being cheats and all this sort of stuff. It's just, you have to be professional. And you have to, as a director of a club, you can think it all you like, but you can't be saying things like that. You've got, it's got to be respect the referee, like it is at rugby, in that position, And Jane, I do the channel with Jane, my partner, and she was secretary at Chase Town. During the boycott years, she got a football back by becoming secretary at a little non-league team called Chase Town, which is near Birmingham, near Walsall Way. And her job was to go and see the referee, after the match. And, she said she'd have some horrible referees, but she would, maybe say, she'd go in and say, so can you just explain to me why you thought that was a red card? She wouldn't go in saying like, you're an absolute cheating bastard. What was that? No, she just said, can you explain to me? And they'd be like, oh, did you not think it was a red card? Just, well, I'm not saying it wasn't a red card, but can you just explain to me why you thought it was a red card? And really put them under, then, but do it in a, do it in a professional way, not going in. And I don't think that's done us any favors with referees, because we are really getting some like ridiculous decisions. I mean, we had a penalty the other week against Coventry, which was like Jerry Yates just about to tap it in. They took him down. It would have been a red card and a penalty, and the people on TV on the EFL show said, yeah, it's a red card and a penalty. We didn't get anything. It just waved it on, and it's stuff like that. It's as if they just don't really, it's as if they don't like us, and I can understand why if we're shouting at them all the time when they come and giving them hell, and so that's not a good thing, There's a lot of unprofessionalism at the moment at Bloomfield Road, and you can understand why we're going down. You really can.
Yeah, no, we've had a few decisions that haven't been, overly great. We've actually only had two penalties this season, right. And a lot of them, they were quite blatant. It was, I don't know if you saw it, but it actually went quite viral. So Coventry, when we played Coventry, the player literally dived like a goalkeeper to actually go down and
all right. Well, and it wasn't
a penalty. Literally, and it wasn't a penalty. It was crazy.
The player saved it, and you didn't give it any. You didn't get
literally dived like he was a goalkeeper.
Oh, that's ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, that just beggars belief. Well, hopefully, the one good thing that you will have, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, to be honest, because I'm not a big fan of VAR, I suppose nobody is, but it does kind of give you a little bit of a chance as the little club. You know what I mean? That some of those decisions, VAR would have given that a penalty. Exactly. You know what I mean? There's no way that would have not. That would if he's dived and handballed it, VAR will get that. So you won't get those kind of decisions, but you still don't get them all, though, do you? They still do favour the big club with this VAR. We've seen it already this season, where teams have not been given the right decision, have they? And they've come and people. I mean, we argue as much about VAR as we do about, as we have done about offsides and handballs and fouls, since it's still part of football, isn't it? But we actually argue about VAR just as much, really. It's not really cure the problem, but I just don't like the way it like stops the game. We played Southampton in the cup, and that was the only time we've played under VAR this season, and we scored a goal, and that was the only time they used VAR. And there was quite a few there's a possible sending off. There's quite a few things, actually. There was a couple of possible sendings off, but they just ignored them. But the minute Blackpool scored a goal, it was, we had to wait for VAR. They let the goal stand, but they hadn't used it for anything else other than when we scored a goal. So it was just quite unbelievable. You think, oh, God, it's just how it is. So
the consistency of it's very annoying. I actually think it's a good, good concept. I just think the people behind it, sometimes they're just that clueless and don't know what they're doing.
How can that be? How can that be? You have people running this. I don't know how much it costs, but you'd want people in that knew how to use it, wouldn't you? And could see. And I don't know why it's. I actually think the whole system is wrong, and this is the way I think they should do VAR. I think VAR should be a bit like tennis, where you have challenges, and I think you could maybe have like 3 challenges each half or 2 challenges each half, and it's up to the managers to challenge. So there's moments in a game now where the whole stadium is going like offside, or you know what I mean, or you score a goal and he disallows it and everybody's going like mental, you know, he doesn't give you a penalty or whatever it is, then you know your manager at that moment is going to be like spitting feathers, isn't he? So that's when he should challenge. And if he's wrong, then you lose the challenge. You know what I mean? So basically, he's challenging, you're all challenging, but you're all bloody blind. You know what I mean? The whole stadium is actually blind, aren't you? You think it's a penalty, goes to VAR, clearly not. You can take that, can't you?
Yeah.
But pulling the game back, like when you scored a goal for something that happened like 2 minutes ago that nobody saw, that nobody was aware of, you know, all of a sudden there's this like challenge on VAR. It's like, whoa, or there's a fingernail, you know, a guy's fingernail is offside and they give it offside. Nobody knows. But for those decisions where everybody's going absolutely ballistic in the stadium and you're all like screaming and shouting, that's when the manager should be allowed, he should challenge there. And if he's wrong, then you were all wrong, weren't you? You're all bloody idiots. But if you did all see it was a penalty, then it's a penalty, isn't it? And he doesn't lose his challenge then. And then that would stop the game being stopped all the time, you know what I mean? And things might get missed, you know, somebody may have just been a little bit offside and it wasn't seen, but that's football, isn't it? That's always been football. Things are missed, aren't they? You know, things that probably, you know, you watch on the highlights, you think, oh my God, yeah, I didn't even see that guy was foul there. You know, you don't notice it but like really clear and obvious things that the whole stadium is up in arms about there when, you know, there should be a challenge and you're going to be right, aren't you? If you are all seeing it properly, then you should win those challenges all the time, shouldn't you?
Yeah.
And he's not going to waste a challenge, is he, on something that he's, I don't know, was he just, I don't know, was that just, no, I won't challenge that. And maybe he should have done, but at least it's not like all the time. So that's what, I don't know if people agree with me, but that's how I would do it. I would have it as a challenge system rather than the way it is.
Yeah. No,
I don't know what you think. Would that work?
I agree. No, I think that's probably the way, you know, so it's
sort a lot of the problems out with it. It really would.
Yeah. And they, you know, they don't, in a sense, get away with certain things, you know.
Yeah, we all get away with a few things. Years and years ago, in the 80s, we had a striker called Bobby Thompson, and I can't remember the game now, but the ball came over and he was on. He'd already gone down. He was on the deck and he just punched it. You know, we could all see from the south stand. He just punched it in and then kind of put his head down. And they gave a goal. You know what I mean? And we've talked about it for years. The great Bobby Thompson. Oh, he just punched it in. You know? It's just like nobody saw it, so he got away with it. You know what I mean? But it was kind of cool to get away with it. You know what I mean? It felt right because it was a game we should have won. You know what I mean? We were one of those games where we were battering somebody and we just couldn't score, and yeah, nobody was complaining. But you know, if VAR had picked it up, it wouldn't have gone down in history as much as it did. But yeah, football's a great game, a frustrating game. It's your life, isn't it? It ruins your weekends. It makes your weekends happy. It's but you know, the thing I've learned over the years of football is it just goes on and on and on, doesn't it? You know, there's always next season and there's always another season, and you know, even when you're doing well, you never know when the bad times are going to come again. And you know, it's just it just goes on and on. You know, you can gloat all you want over winning a derby, and then the next season they're hammering you. You know what I mean? And you never get to be. You never watching clubs like yours and watching clubs like mine. You don't have that sort of thing that, you know, United, you know, or City now, or Arsenal. Those kind of fans, their life is totally different to ours. They have no idea of the pain that we go through watching these little clubs. They just don't. But there's something more special about following your hometown team. I don't know if you are actually from Luton. Are you from Luton? Is that where you're from?
So obviously my dad supports them. I'm nearby. I'm about 20 minutes.
Yeah. So you've always been like Luton is like through your blood, isn't it? It's just, it's in your blood. So yeah, there's nothing you can follow. You know, there'll be fans people in Luton that support Man United. You know what I mean? They will, and I know they will. The Man United fans are living in.
Oh, I've
bloody
seen it myself, so I know.
Yeah,
that,
of course. You know, they're all in the pub, aren't they, watching United or something with a United shirt. So we have them here. You know what I mean? It's a bit closer, obviously, but then we have Tottenham fans in Blackpool and Arsenal fans and all these fans, but they don't. The joy is different, I think, when it's like in your heart, really in your heart. It's like your home town team. You know what I mean? You can't. You can follow United, but it's not quite the same. No. I don't think so. Anyway. I think you get, and you get so many disappointments and so many lows that the highs are just like, they are really like a high, aren't they? Because you don't experience them very often.
No,
you're not going to Wembley every year.
No, exactly.
Where it becomes a bore, and you've been there so many times. It's it's an absolute it's just a dream, isn't it? When you go to Wembley, it is a literal dream. And people who follow United and stuff, it's just like, they go there every year, don't they? It's just another trip to Wembley, and I think it's a bit more special. I did used to say that, and I said at my dad's funeral actually that I used to say that he kind of made me a seasider to ruin my life, because that's how it felt like. It made me a bloody Blackpool fan for all my life, to just put me through so much hell for my whole life. But in the end, as getting, to Wembley and getting in the Premier League and doing it all, and having this dream year after year and finally getting it, you know what I mean? It was a magical journey, really, with my dad. And to be honest with you, from 2000 to 2010, which was, we won a couple of LDV finals and we got promoted at Wembley 3 times. We came out of the second League 2 into League 1, into League 1 as a Championship, and then into the Premier League. So we had 3 promotions well, 2 at the Millennium. Was it 1 at the Millennium? No, 1 at the Millennium, 2 at Wembley. In those 10 years, which were like the last 10 years, obviously, of my dad's life, we had a fantastic time. So it was all worth it in the end, even if he did ruin my life for most of it. But but it's all stories, and it's all, it all just kind of pales into one anyway, doesn't it, over the years? You know what I mean? You don't remember it all. You just remember certain things of seasons. You remember the pain, you remember the joy, but you don't remember every game, because you just can't possibly remember it all. There's that much. But no, it's a fabulous thing, and I'm going to torture my boys with it as well. They'll have to suffer when I'm gone. So I've made them Blackpool fans as well. They're both going, but they don't go with me now. They go with the muckers. They're in with all the noise and the nutters, and we sit the opposite side.
Yeah.
To the ground, because it's it's just easier to do the vlogs that side of the ground. So they don't even come with me, but they'll be back one day. They'll be back with me one day. I'm sure they will. Well, anyway, I don't know. Do you want to?
Yeah, might as well get a little bit of insight into the game. Look at
go on then.
Stats, look at some stats going into it, and that sort of thing. I'll briefly go through them, and then I guess we'll just jump into our lineups and scores, really. So, so obviously five bits going into this for both teams. Luton have lost none of their last 11 league meetings with Blackpool. Won 8, drawn 3. Since a 3-1 home defeat in February 2003. And funny enough, I wasn't actually even born then. That was the year I was born. But I wasn't quite born at that time.
Okay.
Another one, Blackpool have won 1 of their last 15 league visits to Luton. Drawing 4, losing 10, and are winless in their last 5 at Kenilworth Road.
Right.
Having beaten Cardiff 1-0 last season, Luton are looking for consecutive Football League wins on Easter Monday for the first time since winning in 2005 versus Torquay and 2006 versus Plymouth.
Wow.
Blackpool have lost 1 of their last 19 league matches on Easter Mondays, winning 11, drawing 7, losing 2-1 at Oldham in April 2018. And then the last one, Blackpool have lost their last 7 away league matches, last losing 8 in a row between November 1993 and February 1994.
A lot of records could go then, couldn't they, tomorrow? There's a lot of stuff there that could just go.
Yeah.
It's ominous signs. It doesn't sound like we've got a bloody cat and else chance, to be honest. But it seems like we're not too bad on an Easter Monday. Is that I heard that we're pretty good on Easter Mondays?
Yeah, no, you tend to do well. You tend to do well on them. You've only lost one of your last 19 on Easter Mondays, winning 11 and drawing 7. So
Right.
that's one that you could say might come in your favour.
Well, it's something to hold on to, isn't it? It's something to. Christ has died, Christ has risen, and Blackpool don't get beat on Easter Monday. Something like that. I don't know. He's never seen Blackpool lose on an Easter Monday. Yeah, maybe it's a religion thing. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But anyway, that gives me a little bit of hope. I'm coming down with none, obviously. At all. We're traveling down. We're expecting to get beat. Obviously, we're used to it. It's not quite as painful anymore. Not, the pain. We've been through it so much now that I'm kind of like hardened. I'm pretty much hardened to losing anyway as a Blackpool fan over the years. I mean, my dad always used to say, I can handle the losing. It's the winning I can't cope with. That's what he used to say. Just can't cope with winning. We're on a good run, so yeah, I am hardened to it, but I still do get upset. But I'm pretty much resigned to going down now. Dobby's going to have to do something miraculous, especially when we've got no strikers. So, no, I think you'll beat us. I think that 4-0 was a pretty good. I'm expecting a real good spanking. I'm not expecting anything good to come out of this game, so I'm going with little expectation. So anything's a bonus.
Fair enough. I mean, going into it, the only thing for us really is we just haven't, we've had games where we should have scored, quite a lot more. We just can't seem to get that, product to go on and score more. We haven't. I think the last time we beat someone heavily, taking out QPR away this season was probably Coventry last season at home.
Right.
But since we just haven't really managed to get them goals. Usually when we get a convincing win, it's just because we've just dominated, and it's not necessarily because of the, amount of goals we've scored. So I'm hoping at some point, my dad keeps that belief at some point we will do it this season. So obviously I'm hoping, I think it could be a good time to potentially do it tomorrow, but we have to see really. But your lineup going into it, what would you go with? Obviously, you say you got no strikers.
I don't know, to be honest with you. We're starting. It's God. I don't know who's going to start with. I mean, Chris Maxwell's been in goal for he's our most experienced keeper, but Blackpool fans are not. Well, a lot of Blackpool fans are not keen on him. Jane is the best keeper she's ever seen at Bloomfield Road. She loves him, but the fans are on his back, and that doesn't help. He can pull off wonder saves, but he's not very tall. Yeah. He is 6 foot, but he doesn't look very tall, and he gets, he's not very commanding in the box. But we haven't really got the alternative is Grimshaw. So we may see Grimshaw in tomorrow because obviously we've let lots of goals. So maybe they might go with Grimshaw, but he's not tall either, and he hasn't played much this season. And I always think he's a little bit dodgy as well. So, but Blackpool fans seem to have turned him into this messiah kind of thing that's not playing, and I've seen him a few times, and he's just been as fumbly and as bad as Maxwell can be. So I think it will be Maxwell. I think they will go with Maxwell. I like Jordan Gabriel as a right back. I think he's a good player, so I would have him. We only have one centre half. We're playing makeshift. So we've got this guy called Nelson from Cardiff. He's another loan that did survive not being injured. So he's playing Nelson, but then we're making a makeshift centre half then to be with him because Marvin Epitess is injured, and Thornley, who's been playing really, really well. He got concussion in a match before Christmas, and he was out for about 5 under this concussion protocol thing that you got now. You can't come back to play for about a month once you've had concussion. So he had another concussion. So it'll be even worse now because this is his like second concussion. So he probably won't be able to play football for 2 years under whatever the regulations are now, or some stupid. So anyway, but I understand the head injury thing, and I can get it, because it's obviously a big major problem in football, isn't it? As they get older with Alzheimer's and whatever it does to you. So we'll probably be playing Husband, who is a left back, but we're playing him a centre half. He's not big or anything like that. So this is why we're a bit easy to beat. We've got Dom Thompson. I think he'll probably play left back. And then it's just the midfield, really. It's been a strange one, really, because for most of the season, we've gone with Sonny Carey and Charlie Patino. Fucking HP, and him.
Yeah.
That song, yeah. The guy that fucking HP, and so Charlie Patino, yeah. So they've been playing Charlie Patino and Sonny Carey together, and to be honest with you, they're just both of them are really young kids. We got Sonny Carey from Kings Lynn, non-league from step 5. He's done quite well, but he's only young, you know what I mean? So you got 2 young lads in there. We've not got a lot of experience around them. All the experienced midfielders have been injured. So, but it hasn't really worked. We've lost loads and loads of games with Patino and Carey together. We've lost so many games with them 2 in, and yet we have this other lad that we got from Man City called Luis Fiorini, and he got injured at the you're saying we beat QPR away.
Yeah.
Well, he played with Patino in the first half against QPR, and I think it was Blackpool's best performance of the season. Honestly, we were murdering QPR. We were so good, and they both got injured. They both got injured in that game, and we hung on in the second half, and we managed to come away with that 1-0 win. But Patino came back after about a month, but Fiorini only came back a few weeks ago, and he came back for the Stoke game at home, and he was phenomenal. He was just passing the ball around, zipping it really fast, and we were beating in the first half against Stoke. We really hammered him, you know what I mean? And but we got 3 yellow cards because we were at this point in our season where we just could pick up yellow cards and red cards like confetti, you know what I mean? It was unbelievable. We just get every game we're getting yellows, red. So he took him off. Mick McCarthy took him off at half time because he was on a yellow. So I think he might have even taken 2 of the yellow cards off because we were just worried about getting another red. And they battered us, Stoke. Second half, it was like the Alamo. The whole stadium was singing the Great Escape song. And we managed somehow to get a 1-0 win against Stoke. But like the first half, we were brilliant with Fiorini in. Second half, we were under cosh without him in. But then he's not played him again until we played QPR again. And he took Fiorini off when we were 5-1 up. We were 5-1 up against QPR, and that's when he subbed him off. And he's not played him again since. So he's only played, his last 3 games have been QPR away, played fantastic. Stoke at home, played fantastic. QPR at home, played fantastic. And Mick McCarthy just wouldn't play him. And I'm like, why? So he may well start, and if he does, he's a good little player, so he could make a difference. Then we've got it could be Fiorini and Patino, which I would like, and then you'd have Bowler on one side and maybe CJ Hamilton on, or Paveda, which is another player that has come from Leeds United. He's really, really tricky, but he's just had so many disciplinary problems that he's not turned up for training, and I don't know. We've not played him. There's been loads of times where he's just been disciplined, but rather than just fining him or something, we've actually not played him, which is a shame because he's really good, you know. He's tricky step overs and all this sort of stuff. He's only small, but honestly, he will be an amazing player, and he plays do you watch Ted Lasso?
Yes.
Well, he's the Danny Rojas. He is Danny Rojas. He's just full of fun, full of life. You know, football is life. You know, he is that. He's that kind of character, and yeah, he keeps getting punished. He has a Bentley. I think they don't like it because he turns up in a Bentley because he's from Leeds United, but he has a Bentley. You know, so he comes to training in his Bentley, and I don't know. It's just not. It just doesn't go down well. I don't know why. He's like a big, but he's a good player, so he might be playing. And then forwards. Well, we've got Morgan Rogers, as I say, who is really kind of a midfielder, but he's a big lad, so they kind of shoved him up front. And then we haven't got anybody else. We have not got anybody else. We only have 4 strikers, and 3 of them are like out. Like out for the season. Out. Gary Medine will never play football again. He's done his cruciates in. He'll never ever kick a ball again. It's just, he's done cruciates at his age. You have no chance of coming back from that. Never. Gascoigne got cruciates, didn't he? And it's a bad injury. It's at least a year out, and he's already sellotaped together with stuff around his groin. They play him all taped up every game. Gary Medine. He can't even run proper. He has a little step. He has like a little step because he can't stride. So he's not been like as effective as Gary Medine should be because he's like half of Gary Medine, if you get what I mean. He's only half. So, but we haven't even got him. Jerry Yates didn't play Saturday. He's our only real striker, and he's I don't think he'll be playing. So I don't know where the goals are coming from. We're kind of hoping that you might just score them for us. Just like a stupid header back pass or somewhere over your keeper's hands, and you put it in for us. Something like that is what we need. You know what I mean? A back header that goes over the keeper and into the net. That's what we need. Luton 0, Blackpool 1, own goal to somebody. That's what we're wishing for. So we have, there's 2 types of open, the no open, Bob open. That's what we're at. That's where we are.
Wow. Well, that's interesting. You're
going to win, trust me.
Attackers. That's given me. Well, to be fair, I was pretty confident anyway. But that's given me even more now. To be honest, but what I'll do is obviously I'll share my screen and do my lineup like I usually do. Just quickly. So obviously I'll go with the 5-2-1-2, which is obviously with the cam and the wing backs. So obviously in goal, it's going to be Ethan, obviously on loan. Scores from Nottingham Forest.
This is all very professional, isn't it? This is a top quality. This is a top quality YouTuber here. You've got me. What's all this? It's like being on Sky. I love it. Go on, carry on.
So obviously in goal I'd go Ethan. I think on the left side I would go probably Bell. I think that makes sense. I feel since Rob Edwards has come in, he's been able to have that luxury of going forward and taking on players that we know he's good at. I felt when Nathan Jones was there, when he played in that position, because obviously he plays more as the left wing back, I feel he didn't really tell him to push forward and do what we know he's good at. So I would go with Bell. In the middle of that 3, I would go Lockyer. I feel it's only right. I remember the reverse fixture against Blackpool. He was brilliant. Obviously, Potts had to come off for us in that game, and that's when he was doing really well. And Lockyer, he was just blocking everything. He was just blocking everything that game. So I'd definitely go with him. On the right, I would go with Osho. I feel he's really started to kick into the swing of things. It's hard to actually throw him out of the team at the moment because how consistent and how good he's been. A lot of games he's been vital to getting us goals, even though they're not great. Wigan away was an example of that. It started to pass for one of the goals. So, he's been brilliant. On the right, obviously, it's got to be the player we've got on loan from Leeds. Obviously, Drame. Obviously, he's been good since he's come in. On the left side, again, another name you can't really not put in the team, and that's obviously Doherty. I'd probably say since Rob Edwards has come in, you could argue that he's potentially been one of the best players under him. If not the best player, it's definitely up there for a debate. Okay. So I'll definitely go with him. The midfield, I would now this is where it gets interesting for me because it's all depends on if Clark's back, I would definitely put him in that cam. But I'm going to base it on that he's not back. So I'm going to go with Campbell. Obviously, I gave him man of the match the other day. As much as our midfield was getting quite overrun at times, I did feel he was, the Campbell of old, where he was getting stuck in and he just doesn't give you time to breathe. doesn't give you time to breathe at all. So, yeah,
Right.
and I saw this stat as well, because obviously we was the game on TV, and it said most tackles won for Luton this season was actually him as well. So definitely go with him, 100%. On the other side, it's got to be Nakamba for me, obviously on loan from Aston Villa. He's really started to kick into it. Obviously, we know his quality was there. It was just, just getting adapted to the Championship. Obviously, it's more physical and that sort of thing. So, yeah, he's really doing well now. And then above them, do you know what? I'll go with Ruddock, but I wouldn't be surprised if him and Campbell like interchange, sort of.
Right.
Obviously, I'd love to see Clark, but I'm just going to base it on, him not being there like he hasn't been for the last 2 games. So I'm going to go with them. And then up front, again, I think it speaks for itself, really. Carlton Morris, obviously 3rd top scorer in the league. It's been absolutely brilliant. Obviously, we knew with his price tag being the most expensive player we've ever brought, obviously 2 mil. We knew it's going to kick in at some point. He's done that. And then obviously next to him, I would go with Elijah Abayu, of course. Obviously, he doesn't have a picture on here. He never does for some reason. But hopefully, he does manage to get double figures this season. He's not quite on it yet. I think he's on 7 goals, if I'm correct. So, yeah, that's the lineup I'd go with. Like I say, I'll probably expect Campbell and Ruddock to do a bit of interchange. But if Clark's back, I would put him in. The question is, who would I put him in for? I'd probably keep Nakamba on. I'll probably put him in for Ruddock because Ruddock's, just come back. Obviously come back in a Watford game. And I felt obviously he had that little bit in the second half where we thought he might come off. I'd probably rest him a little bit and then bring him on, depending on how the game's going, of course. So that's the lineup I'd go with. It does look like Stephen's gone very similar. He would go with the same. Obviously, he's chanting the Elijah chant. He's loving it. So, yeah, that's the lineup. Like I said, I would go with. So unchanged again. If that was the case, that would be another unchanged lineup from the last 2 games. But saying all of this, obviously, Lee, he said you're not confident going into it.
No,
What is
not at
your
all.
score prediction in this one?
Oh man. Honestly, I'd look. Well, I think we're going to get beat, and I think it'll be. I'm going to go. I can't. How can I say Luton are going to win? That's putting a white flag in it. Blackpool 2-1. Yeah, fluky.
Right.
2 own goals. 2 own goals. Yeah, you'll score all 3, but we'll win 2-1. There we go. How's that?
There you go.
That's the dream.
But what I'm going to do before I get into my prediction, obviously, like I said, my dad is not on today's episode. I will get up his audio of what he's had to say going into it. Now, I haven't actually managed to listen to all of it. I only managed to listen to up to 40 seconds. So I'll just put that up near the mic so you lot can hear it.
Feeling quite confident going into this game. We've got a pretty decent record over the years against Blackpool, especially at home. Their form's really poor, especially away. Look at where we are in the table compared to where they are. Yeah, they're going to fight, but we've just got too much quality.
We don't fight.
They don't win against QPR, but QPR been really, really poor recently. Other than that, they tend to ship loads of goals. So I'm pretty confident that we're going to win. My lineup would be Ethan in goal, basically the same as what we have been playing. So Bell, Lockyer, Osho at the back, Doughty on the left, Drame on the right, Campbell, Nakamba, Ruddock in midfield. I think Clark's quite ready yet, probably. And then Morris and Adebayo up front. And I'm going to go for a 3-1 Luton win. Goal scorers, I'm going to go Doughty, Adebayo with 2. Yeah, and that's it.
There you go. He's got with Elijah to get 2, which is interesting. Like I said, I hope he does get to double figures by the time we come to the end of the season. Obviously, it's not quite like last season where we, were quite reliant on him because, Cornick is not obviously a striker. Obviously, he's gone now. And Jerome is, he's just one of them experienced sort of players. So, yeah, one of them. Obviously, he's gone with Doherty to score as well. He has scored a few this season, standout I can think of. QPR away, what a goal that was as well. So, yeah, my dad's feeling confident, 3-1. My prediction, obviously, I did do it in my championship predictions the other day. I did go over 2-0 to Luton. My goal scorers, I'm going to go with Morris, and you know what? I've got a feeling Amari Bell's going to score. I don't know why, but we will see. So that is my prediction there.
Sounds about right.
The thing is, I do hope we do, get them load of goals at some point, because I do feel it will come at some point. But just a lot of games, we've just outplayed the team. We haven't necessarily got a hefty amount of goals. So yeah, it's one of them. It's one of them, really. But getting your score predictions in the chat as well. Seen a few people have done that. So yeah.
Tom Long's obviously just joined the show, has he? Where have you been, Tom? Where's he been all this time? Honestly, write out 100 lines. I must turn up earlier to these things, so I know how the conversation's gone. He said he's heard Blackpool are decimated with injuries. I've been talking about how long have I been telling you we've no strikers? And and of course he confirms that striker Jerry Yates is injured too. Yes, it's not even apparently Tom. He is. He's got a tight hamstring, so they may have worked on that. There could be a chance he could be back, but I'd heard he might be fit enough for the Wigan game at home. So I'm pretty sure he won't be ready. I'm pretty sure he won't be. So. So your sources are correct, Tom. Well done. Well done.
And he's gone 2-0 as well.
Yeah, okay.
David, who's obviously a Luton fan, he's gone 3-0 to Luton. He's gone Morris, Lockyer, Pelly. Nice combo that. So that's striker, defender, and midfielder. So that would be that'd be nice. And he says he's watching the golf. That's why. So yeah.
Well, it's not good enough. It's not good enough, Tom. It's not good coming in with all this. It's already all been said. So we've already gone through all the injuries. But anyway, you enjoy the golf. How are we getting on at the golf, by the way?
Yeah.
You're
interesting.
Here. Let us know how we're going on in the golf.
Yeah, absolutely. But we will wrap up very shortly.
Yeah. I've got to get to bed soon because I'm up in the morning, quarter to 7. Coach, so we're up at 5:45 to get ready and stuff and get everything ready. And it's gonna be a long day. You know it is. You know the drill, don't you? You've been all the way. You've been to Blackpool, so you know how far it is. But at least you won't get. It's not so bad when you win, but when you lose, it's a long way. Bloody hell! It's a long way.
No, absolutely. But safe travels to you. And do try and enjoy it. That's what I will say.
Yeah, I've noticed I've picked up a couple of subscribers. I think while we've been going on, I'm at 7,150. I've just seen here, so I think we're on 7,145. So maybe 5 people. If there's 5 people who've watched this and listened to this garbage and thought, follow him. Is your head sorting out? But yeah, if you want to watch, if you want to be reminded of what it's like to be bottom of the league, then definitely check out the last match vlog that we did on Friday, because you'll know exactly what it's like to be struggling at the bottom and how hard it is mentally and stuff on you, and it's not easy. So have a heart for us when you're beating us. Just remember, we've come a long way to get stuffed. You can sing "You've come a long way" for nothing.
Yeah. Steve, a safe journey to you.
Thank you, Stephen. Do appreciate that.
There you go, and there you go. There's a bit of an update on the golf.
Okay. Okay, 2-shot lead, right? Okay. Cool.
So yeah, that is that. But yeah, we are going to wrap up. Like I said, obviously got the travel down. I think this is the longest ever Hatter show. So yeah, thank you for coming on, and it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, it's been emotional. As Tyler, definitely, it's been emotional. Be even more emotional tomorrow. I'm dreading it, to be honest. Listening to what you know, I can tell from just the way, you know, the comments are going, and, you know, the way you're talking, and, you know, you're all up. You know, it's a club that's up. You're all feeling good. You're all feeling confident, and you should be. You're third in the league, and you still got a sneaky chance, haven't you? You know, Sheffield United could implode anytime. The pressure can come on at the end, and you know, sometimes you can come at them, you know, from behind, you know, from below them, and catch them at the end. So yeah, you've got it all to play for. 3 points tomorrow will be really valuable, especially if Sheffield United were to blow it tomorrow, wouldn't it? Get you a little bit closer. So yeah, so I can see you're all up for it. So I'm expected to get absolutely battered. And as Preston sings to us all the time, Blackpool get battered everywhere they go. So we're kind of used to that.
So we sing that about Watford. So
yeah, well, we were singing it about Preston last year, but they've given it us back in spades now. They've taken our song and turned it on us. But yeah, so you say that about Watford? About Watford?
Yeah, Watford. Yeah.
Oh, they're your. Yeah, they're not doing so good this season, really, are they? You know, they've been disappointing. We should have beat Watford, to be honest. You know, we went to Watford and they had there are quite a few kids in. They had a lot of injuries, and they brought a kid on who scored a goal, and we gave him a penalty, and, you know, but it was kids coming on. You know, it was announced, you know, first time on the pitch, you know, first time playing on, welcome him onto the pitch. You know, the young kid beat us. Bloody hell! It was a chance, but no, we blew it. We blew it.
Thank you
anyway,
for beating them at home, though. I know you beat them at home pretty heavily.
Thank you.
So, yeah.
Thank you, Cook's Corner.
So, yeah.
Right. Enjoy the game. May the best team win, and all the best to Luton. And if you are in the playoffs, we will be rooting for you, because we root for the underdogs here.
Yeah.
So
Thank you very much for that. And good luck for the rest of the season, except tomorrow, of course. So yeah, no, that is that. But yeah, just let the people know real quick where else they can find you and where they can find you.
You can find me on what's there? It's right behind me there. Oh, well, that way there. Yeah, Lee Charles TV. It's on YouTube, but you can also, if you can't remember Lee Charles TV, it's if you search Blackpool Fan Channel, we also come up on that, because we are Lee Charles TV, Blackpool Fan Channel, not Blackpool FC Fan Channel, but just Blackpool Fan Channel, because I'm a fan of, you know, the town, my town, as well as my team. So it's yeah, that's where we are. Lee Charles TV, and I think Matthew San there said, "What do you think Blackpool's chances are tomorrow? Should start all over again." Tell you what, we've got no chance. To sum it up in as quickly as I can, Matthew, so we can get off. Yeah, no chance.
There you go. But yeah, I've also put Lee's channel in the title as well, so you can just click on and subscribe there, and I'm sure you've done that. So
show us some love. Show us.
Thank you.
Show us some love, and yeah, make our day by at least picking up a few subscribers, and watch with pleasure the Football Tourist Guide to Luton. You'll enjoy it, because I know, you know, talking to Luton fans, that you get a lot of stick about your ground, and, you know, people always dish you and put you down, but you be proud of Luton, because I thought it was great. We had a great time there, so. And definitely check out that jazz club, the Bear Club, if you haven't been to it yet in Luton. And it's fab. It's really fab. And say Lee Charles TV sent you.
Yeah. Right. There you go. But like I said, thank you for coming on again. Much appreciated. We've enjoyed it. It's been a good one. Like I said, I think it's been the longest one. So thank you for that. And yeah, like I said, people, don't forget to go over, subscribe to Lee's channel. Yeah. As for the like count here, I've ended up on 16 likes so far. I know a lot of people watch this back on playback. And by the way, the last 3 episodes have got over 100 views, every single one. So big up to yourselves for that. Much appreciated.
Steven says, Matt, repeat this stream. I'm supposed to be leaving it up. You won't delete it. Did you just leave them on, or do you delete them?
What's that? Sorry?
Steven says, Matt, repeat this stream. Is it saying at the bottom there?
Oh, right. Yeah, I think he just means like just watch it watch it back, sort of thing.
Yeah,
so-
definitely should be up there, and yeah, I'll give it a watch. See how bad I came across. See how depressed I came across. Right, we're gonna stuff you, Luton. I'll give you all a false sense of security. Tell you, we're coming tomorrow. We need the win. We bloody need it. I tell you, there's never been. If we don't win this, we're down. So we'll be coming fighting tomorrow.
But yeah.
New manager bounce. Everything I said just out the window. Right. See you.
Yeah.
If I see you, any of you at the ground, say hello. We don't bite, just come up and say hello. We love to interview fans of other clubs and that. We love it. We love the tour of the ground by your fire safety security officer. He's really nice. He's a really nice guy. Honestly, you'd be proud of him.
Absolutely. If I unfortunately, I won't be going tomorrow, but I will be doing a watch along. Obviously, if I was, we'd have tried to get something planned, I'm sure, before the game or something. But yeah, unfortunately, I will not be going.
Part-time supporter, part-time bloody supporter. What do you mean not going? Why can you not be going?
I haven't quite got a season ticket, so I haven't managed to go.
Oh, you can't get in, can you, at the moment? Is it sold out?
Yeah, it's completely sold out.
What a dream that is! Well, you'll be able to get away. You can come with me. Come in the way, and with me, there'll be loads of seats in there. It's pay on the gate as well.
Is it?
Fair
enough.
Pay on the gate. There'll be a few more there than there would have been. Now Mick McCarthy's gone because there's like a massive cloud lifted over the club, so there will be a few more fans there, but there'll be plenty of space there for pay on the gate.
Fair enough.
We'll see you there.
But yeah, I said don't forget to subscribe to both channels, smash a like on the stream if you haven't already. If you do want to follow me across any of my socials, link to them obviously in the description. And subscribe to my other channel as well, T-Boys TV Extra.
Indeed, he's a professional. Until
tomorrow, for
two more subscribers. Just you see the power of Tyler. That's 7,100. And Seamus Easley, he's putting in there. Subscribe to Lee. That's been we've had a good time, haven't we?
It's been good.
Football's all about us. It's all about fans, and there's so much. I don't know. There's so much hatred, and you'll have found it as well. Being a football vlogger, that you meet loads of fans from other clubs, and you kind of realize that at the end of the day, we're all pretty much the same. We all suffer the same shit, really, down in these clubs. We all follow England, and we have our hearts broken with England, and we have our hearts broken with our clubs, and it makes our weekends, and it makes our lives, and it's just we're all the same. We're all the same, and there shouldn't be the hatred that there is, because we're all one football family. We really are,
Yeah, exactly. Stephen says he'll try and look out for you. He's got a season ticket, so he's
right. Okay,
game.
Well, yeah, look out for us. If you see us, come up and say hello. We'd love to get you on.
Don't worry, Tom. Lee is.
We need some positivity in the vlog.
He was actually giving, respecting it earlier in that sense. So yeah, make sure you do watch it back. But yeah, we are going to wrap it up here. So like I said, I'll be back again for a watch along tomorrow. Right. And keep an eye on Lee's channel.
Watch the video and see it from our end, and go through the pain with us if we lose, or the absolute joy that we'll be in if we actually win a game. So may the best team win. Thanks a lot for having me on. Thanks a lot to everybody, and thanks for those of you that have given us a sub. It's really appreciate it.
No worries at all. So until next time, guys, we'll see you lot in a bit. Take care and peace.